Getting a handle on visibility in the supply chain. My guest today is Jeffrey Luft. He is Portfolio Development Executive with Seaman Digital Logistics. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for having me back.
And thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Now, here we are at Manifest, and a lot of companies are talking about visibility outside these walls as well, to be honest.
Yes.
Why is that such a big issue right now?
I think it's a big issue right now because if you cannot measure what you're doing, we can't improve it. Customers want to know where their material is. When am I getting my order? Manufacturers want to know, are my incoming goods that I need for production on schedule, on time, so that I can build? And that's why everyone is talking about having the visibility to the movement of goods throughout the supply chain.
Okay, so in order to have visibility, you need data. Essential. How can customers use that data to actually improve their businesses and tie that back into the whole acquisition of visibility as well?
So a lot of companies sit on the data and use it purely for informative purposes with their customers. Your shipment has been delayed. Your shipment will be delivered tomorrow. But with all of the data, we can take that and predict what will come next and look for areas of improvement. We do that via the use of a digital twin. So the digital twin model will allow us to take all of the data that we've collected on visibility, build it into a what's happening today platform, and then raise that platform up, as I like to say, to the sandbox level, where we can move the pieces around. We see that we could get improvements in this area if we shift our delivery ports from LA to Oakland. How much more improvement can I get? But people have to be willing to try new things. And with the digital twin, there's no risk.
Right.
It is limited, as I like to say, it's only limited by somebody's imagination. What if I could do this? What if we could put a new distribution center 5 miles from headquarters where it is convenient for everybody? Digital twin technology lets us create those scenarios and see their impact.
We're talking about a state of affairs that would not have even been possible before the digital twin came along, and for that matter, not possible before true visibility tools came along too.
And it's interesting that you say that, because supply chain is not new. Logistics is not new. We can trace it back hundreds of years. So how have people done it before? Businesses have accepted the as-is environment, and they've found a way to make minor changes. Customers have accepted my package will be delivered when it will be delivered. In the last 20, 25 years, we've come to a marketplace of I want it now, I want it tomorrow, I'm not going to wait for my shipment. So businesses, shippers need to think about, how do I improve my processes to ensure customer satisfaction, which then will drive brand awareness, brand loyalty, and then money on the bottom line.
Again, let's define these steps. You get visibility, that turns into the digital twin. You have all these what if scenarios. Now comes time to make a decision based on all those scenarios. Is that now today still strictly a human process, or is technology stepping to the fore in the form of whatever you want to say, artificial intelligence or whatever, to help those decisions get made correctly once you're equipped with the necessary information?
It's a twofold process, I believe. There's always an expense to creating the digital twin. You've got to collect the data, you're going to store it, whatever platform you're using, there's a financial investment. So how do we convince, just say the CFO, that this is a worthy investment of X dollars?
To make the upfront costs.
Exactly.
They want to be told, they want to be shown the ROI.
Right.
What is the ROI?
Well, the ROI is measured by the improvements that you ultimately find when you create these what-if scenarios. You'll create an environment that says, we'll try this process now. You can run it through various scenarios, and if it proves out that you can get financial savings that way, or customer improvements, service level, move closer to customers, then CFOs should be willing to go along with it, because at the end of the day, it all raises revenue.
But companies are very margin challenged today, and CFOs have short memories, short patience. How fast do those ROIs kind of announce themselves? How fast do you start to see the value from this type of investment?
I think it depends upon how much you're willing to put into the investment, and not financially, but how much resource. Not a lot of human capital, but I'm going to collect my data. I'm going to have a well-defined process of what today is, so that we are clear that we are looking at all of the information and all of the steps in today's world. Once I've confirmed that and I start moving it into that cloud sandbox that I mentioned, it is bringing in collaborators internally with the business who may have a slightly different view than what we've been doing today. Many times we've always said salespeople are closest to the customers. They have the best information because that's who they're hearing from. So maybe we bring some salespeople in to look at how we might restructure the supply chain or the logistics flow.
Yeah.
And there are people throughout our corporations that do that. I think a lot of times businesses forget that internally we have supply chain experts, we have logistics experts. For example, and a slight deviation on this, product design. Product design is key to make sure you're aligned with your supply chain. Yet product designers typically want to operate in a vacuum. If you bring your supply chain in, what I call shift left, so that you're thinking about those processes up front, then you can mitigate possible risks down the road. You can look at the what if scenarios.
Right.
So it is bringing together, back to the digital twin, it's bringing together various people from within the business to give their input on what they think might be the next viable step.
Yeah.
And the digital twin will allow you to play that out and test that theory.
Not just play it out for the decision of the moment, but as you gather more and more information, it becomes more iterative, then you make more intelligent decisions later on, right?
And I think, correct, and I think the digital twin is not a one-time use product. I believe that the most successful companies will use it. They'll take their snapshot today, they'll make their first improvement, which will then drop down to the current as-is process, and then they'll start all over again. What's the next thing that we can improve? And whether it's every quarter, every 6 months, once a year, we should be looking at the processes that we have in place and what has changed in the world order that can help us improve. So behind you is a map of the globe. So right now, as supply chain leaders, we're struggling with two big challenges on water. The Panama Canal, which is running low, and the Suez Canal, which is not a viable option. So in the digital twin environment, I simulate what if I come, instead of going through the Suez Canal, what if I go around the Horn of Africa? What if instead of doing that, I went across the Pacific and I docked in a port on the west coast of the United States? All of that's possible when you have tools that can help you look at it.
Great. Thank you so much,
No,
Jeffrey,
my pleasure.
for those insights into just how this technology can be brought to bear in a really valuable way. Visibility, digital twin, and the like. I do want to take a moment, though, to ask you about Seaman's Digital Logistics. Tell me where you play in this whole area.
So Seaman's Digital Logistics, which has been serving customers for about 25 years, focuses on both digital twin technology for helping businesses do network planning and optimization. Where should I put my facilities? What suppliers should I use? And we offer a platform for supplier collaboration, which allows the operational piece of a business to know that the inbound flow of materials may be delayed. So I need to adjust my production schedule. Otherwise, people will show up to the floor expecting to build product A without the components.
Right.
We've recently added to that the ability for businesses to track Scope 3 carbon emissions. Scope 3 are the emissions that are generated in the transportation of goods and services from A to B. We've fallen under ISO certification for that. And when businesses talk about today the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and their commitment to that, they need a way to track it. They need a way to know what they are, where they are today with emissions, and what steps they can take to improve it.
Thanks again, Jeffrey. I really appreciate your insights and telling us also a little bit about Seaman's Digital Logistics. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Bob.
Speaking with Jeffrey Luft of Seaman's Digital Logistics. Thank you very much for watching.